Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Crepe Myrtle Row. Today's video is going to be a tour through the years of this fireplace surround and my entertainment center. I did the video through the years of how I decorate my hutch, and everyone seemed to really like that and a lot of you requested to see this area that I mentioned I can do. So before we get started with the pictures, I'm going to give you a little bit of background about this. Some of you who've been with me for a while, you've heard me talk about how this came about, but I have a lot of new subscribers that may not know it. So we're going to talk about that and then we'll get started with the pictures. Okay, so this fireplace surround is actually some architectural salvage pieces. This I already had at one point, and then of course the mirror above it, and it was just stained brown, and you will see that in the beginning of the slideshow, so to speak. You will see that it's just these two pieces here on this wall and they're stained, and then later on you'll see when I actually added this. But this was part of a door system. There's the two side lights and there's the door that was in between, sort of like that back there. See, that's my door coming in. It has the side lights and then the door in the middle. That's the way this system was. And it came out of a house that was built in the 1930s, and my brother had took it out, and my dad had it propped up against a tree out in his yard for, gosh, 6 to 9 months. And he had offered it to me. I had no idea what I was going to do with it. And then I finally one day, I had an epiphany of what I could do with it and make it like a big entire fireplace surround by putting it on each side. So luckily I called him just in the nick of time, because he literally was emptying out his dump truck to get it ready to take to the landfill like the next day if I had not called and got it. But what I wanted it for is I loved these leaded glass pieces, and it already had a lot of this chippy paint and stuff, and it was this kind of white color. So what I did to start with, and you'll see that in one of the pictures, I just painted this piece in that mirror. I just kind of used a really heavy dry brush technique and put a white coat on it. Well, y'all know me, I like color, so I ended up going back and adding all of this. I added like a greenish blue, some different shades of green. I don't know if they really show up on this or not, maybe down here a little bit more. So see different shades of stuff. I just, no rhyme or reason, I just dry brushed them on there, and then I went back with a brown kind of very watered down paint and brushed over, so that's where you get some of the antiquing in the edges to give it even more vintage look. Left the hinges on it because I can use those when I'm hanging stuff, like especially at Christmas time. And even up here at the top, you can see right there's a hinge, right there's one left, and then there's one down there under that stuff. And those come in handy to do like the swags around when I put a garland and stuff up there. And of course, this changes. Now, for the last year, it's kind of somewhat stayed the same in the sense that I put a stack of books here, the tray back there, and a stack of books there and there and there. And that kind of, I've left it for almost a year now, believe it or not. And I've just changed out like all the decor pieces up on top for each season. And I've enjoyed that. But I think come this fall, it will be time for me to totally take everything down and rechange my layout. But it did make it real easy when I redid this room. I had to take the whole fireplace apart, and so when I put it back, I wanted to put it back in a way that I'd get more use out of the decor instead of having to completely change everything every season. So it worked like that. I did great with it, but I'm ready for a change now. But the other thing is, we had to take the door, so you can see up in there's the panels on the door. We cut it down a little bit more than half, and all of this is just sitting here. It's not, of course, the mirror is mounted on the wall. This piece just sits down in place, and those are just like propped up against the wall. We've got some pieces up under here to kind of wedge it to make it continually go back. And then we just took one screw on each side of that and screwed it in just to make it more stable, and you know, where it wouldn't just fall over if somebody bumped into it. But it also makes it very easy to take down when needed, because when we did these ceilings and these floors, I had to clear everything out. So we had to take it apart and put it away. Now for the entertainment center, I'm also going to show that. That is a piece that my stepdad made back in the early 1980s. And of course, back then you had the big, deep TV. So that board, I know this is trying to focus wrong. That board went all the way down through there because there was a big, deep TV. And of course, remember you had the stereo systems that stacked up real tall and big old tall speakers. So that's why all of these areas were big. And that's what he made it for him and my mom. They had, you know, the stereo system, the surround sound, and the big TV, and it all worked great. Well, when we got the piece, and as time has changed since the 80s with TVs, we cut out that piece. Maybe if I get up, it'll stop trying to focus. We cut out that piece and then cut it back so far, like you can kind of see how far back right there we cut it, and made room for this. Now this is the absolute biggest TV that I can put in there. No other one would fit because there would be no room to even get it past these lip edges here to get it in there. And that one's a little tricky as it is. And I don't even remember if that's a 54 or 57, I can't remember. But anyhow, we love having this. I love the piece because I love having all of that room up there to decorate with. We had thought about it times, you know, getting rid of it, hanging the TV on the wall, and just doing different things. But I love my decor, and this gives me so many spaces to decorate. So it's not going anywhere. I'm just going to keep it. And plus, it's a memory of him. He passed away back in 2015. So it's a good memory of him and some of the stuff that he had made. But without further ado, we're going to go through the video. And I tried to somewhat put these in order, but they're not exactly in the years. I did try to make sure all the ones that started out in the beginning, when I first started taking pictures of all this, and the fireplace, it shows a few pictures without the whole surround piece. But, you know, I didn't have a YouTube back then, so I didn't, or Instagram, so I wasn't really taking pictures that were like high quality to put on a video or show to everyone. So I was just mainly taking pictures for myself to keep up with what I did, so I could go back and look each year to see what I did differently. So anyhow, that's what's going on, and we can start the video. And I hope y'all enjoy it. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you liked about it and everything. And I hope y'all have a very blessed day. This is the point where we actually put the fireplace surround on, and as you can see here, it was completely white. And then it was the night after I took this picture that I decided I didn't like all white and wanted to add some color to it. Another thing we did in the background is we put peel and stick wallpaper. As you can see with the wood look in the back there, that is just peel and stick wallpaper that I stuck on, and that way I could change it out because it's just stained wood normally behind it. Another thing I like to use is a lot of ambient lighting. All of the candles are normally just battery operated candles, but the lights themselves now are all plug-in LED lights. In the beginning, when I first started all of my decor, I would use battery operated lights with timers on the string and whatever, and that took a lot of batteries and a lot of time. So I finally found some on Amazon that would plug in and be the LED lights, and I love how it looks at night. Now here's where you can see how I was talking about the swag effect with using those hinges that were existing on that door, and that way I can hook my swags on there, and I love doing that. And on this picture, you can see where the hinges on the side of that side light is where I hang some of my decor pieces, and I always enjoy using those during decorating. Another thing I like to do is use background pictures from YouTube or actual videos just to keep that from looking like a big black screen, and I'll just have it playing in the background a lot of times. And one thing I forgot to mention, if you're new to my channel, is probably 90% of my items are from thrift stores or antique stores or that kind of thing. They're all secondhand. Just about everything in here, very little of it is purchased new. This was my first fall getting to decorate with my new wall colors, and I absolutely love the orange and fall colors with that blue-green color. I purchased that nativity scene for $15 at a thrift store in Kansas.